Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Bhupesh from Dr. BKM Institutes once again. We are just discussing a bit of a letter that is expected on 11th of February exam. So, in the last two, three times, you made me guess, but, I was not really, having that intuition. But this time I really believe this exam can come. So please understand. So when you are, what I say is discharge back letter. So discharge back means like there was today's letter of retirement home. So what was happening is that patient came from retirement home. She had some problem. I don't know about the letter much, but yeah, she had some problem. I'm just telling you the basics. Suppose she had a fracture or she fell there. Suppose she fell and had a broken arm. I'm just taking an example. This was not exactly the letter of today, but I'm telling you the situation. Suppose she had a very bad viral, having respiratory issues. So she was brought to the emergency ward. Okay. But she's from retirement home. She actually lives in retirement home. So now in the exam, there would be two major concerns. दो major concern होंगी. First, you need to read the name of the retirement home. Suppose if it is given as Elizabeth Retirement Home or it is given as Woodville Retirement Home, there would be some name of the place. And if I talk about India, I can say Phase 10 Retirement Home, or I can say Mohali Retirement Home. So these are the basic things that you need to understand. The first name that is given talks about the place. Suppose it says Aero City Retirement Home. So retirement home, the name of the place is this. So if it is given as Elizabeth Retirement Home, so how would you judge that it is a discharge back letter? That in exam, this would be given. Suppose the patient name is Mrs. Uh, any name, Mrs. Elvin, Mrs. Elvin Bath, suppose. So I will say it will be given in her physical address. It would be given as Elizabeth Retirement Home. Then in the end, you would be given in the last, write a letter to community, write a letter to nurse working in Elizabeth Retirement Home. So now when these two words will match, the physical address of the patient, that is Elizabeth Retirement Home, and nurse of retirement home to whom you are writing the letter. जिस नर्स को आप लेटर लिख रहे हो वो भी सेम रिटायरमेंट होम है और the physical address of patient is same. So obviously it means that patient physical address is this, and home itself says that she is a resident. So these are the things you should understand from these small keywords. Elizabeth Retirement Home means she is living in that place. She is a resident of that place. She came to hospital due to viral infection or something. Now she is better. So obviously after getting better, she will return back to her home. But her home is residential home. So she will go back to her retirement home. So there would be a nurse in the retirement home that has to provide the follow-up care. So now it is all simple for me. So please understand in these letters, how do you fetch marks? The first thing is this letter is being written regarding Mrs. Bath. This is a kind of a letter that is expected. Mrs. Bath. Now there is the first punch that you should put it over here. Normally we write regarding Mrs. Bath, but here is the first punch. This letter is being written regarding one of your residents. So you should say one of your residents. इसमें S डालना है. You have to put S. So I'm talking about one of your resident, Mrs. Bath, who was admitted to our hospital due to severe viral Done. After treatment, she is better. Make it very simple that you are talking about a person, you are writing the first paragraph, you are just telling that I am writing this letter regarding your resident. And I mentioned the word Mrs. Bath, who was admitted to our hospital due to this reason. After treatment, she is better. So she is being discharged back to your retirement home. Simple. Now, rather than writing your retirement home, you can also write back to the retirement home, because we are talking about the same retirement home. When we say your, it also belongs to patient as well. So the word is better rather than your. क्योंकि जब हम कह रहे हैं कि आपका रिटायरमेंट होम, जिसको लेटर लिख रहे हैं आप, नर्स को लेटर लिख रहे हो तो आप कह रहे हो आपका रिटायरमेंट होम है, लेकिन वो पेशेंट का भी तो है ना, इसलिए द वर्ड ज्यादा बेटर है. द वर्ड इज मच बेटर. So this letter is being written regarding one of your resident, Mrs. Bath, who was admitted to our hospital due to severe viral. After treatment, she is better, so she is being discharged back to the retirement home. Once these are the best words. Once she reaches back, it is advised to you to follow instructions for her speedy recovery. So you can write this. So once she reaches back, so this is how you tell the purpose to the retirement home people that this patient belongs to you. I'm writing about your resident. She came to us because of this. Now she is better. So obviously she is going back to the retirement home. She will come back to the place. Once she reaches back, it is advised to you to follow some instructions for her speedy recovery. Or we can simply say it is advised to you to provide her follow-up care for her quick recovery. So I'm not saying exactly mention the same line. Please try to understand. You can write it in different way, but please try to tell them the message. So these are the discharge back letters. That patient is being discharged back to the same place. Now, the second paragraph in these letter changes. You don't write about medical history because the patient lives in that retirement home. So retirement home nurses, the health professionals, everybody knows about the history. So you never write about Mrs. Bath is all alone and lives in retirement home. If you write this line, even one line, if you write even one line, this one line, this will take you to 230 because it is a blunder. You are telling the retirement home people she stays there. You're saying she stays in retirement home. So obviously they are the people from the retirement home. They already know it. So it's a blunder. So that is where you lose all the marks. So this is the biggest mistake that one can do. So please try and understand. So you will say, so the second paragraph would be, as you know, this is the second punch. As you know, when she was admitted, please try to understand this line is very important. You always commit this mistake. As you know, when she was admitted, she was having fever, nausea, vomiting, whatever you want to say. But you put a full stop. So this is wrong. When you put a full stop, this is wrong. Because you started a sentence with as you know, it can never end without so. That means there can never be a full stop unless you write this thing. So you will say, as you know, she was admitted with fever, nausea, and vomiting. So IV flu antibiotics and fluids were given immediately. Now this completes my sentence. That is what I want to say. So if you start any sentence with as you know, it can never end without so. So there can't be any full stop here. It has to be comma. So this is the second thing I want to tell you about these letters. As you know, when she was admitted, she was having fever, nausea, and vomiting. So always write this. As you know, when she was admitted, जब वो admit हुई थी, she was having fever, nausea, and vomiting, coma. So IV antibiotics and fluids were given immediately. Now this is the second punch of the letter. Then you can say, along with that, she was given oxygen, whatever you want to say. That is up to you. Now you can write anything, whatever you want to tell about during hospitalization. Then after discharge to the retirement home, you are advised to don't write it would be greatly appreciated, because obviously they will do. They, you can write it would be greatly, but try to avoid this line. So after discharge to the retirement home, you are advised to do this thing. She should be given this thing. She needs daily exercise. So please motivate her for the same. So this is how you write. So that is how you write the discharge back letter. So this was the kind of the letter that you have done today. So please try to understand these letters. So these are the discharge back letters. So please listen to this video to understand this completely. Otherwise, the letter can come to the family GP. When you write to the family GP, they are not discharge back letters, because they have not come from GP's home. वो GP के घर पे थोड़ी रहते हैं. They do not stay in GP's home. So it is not a discharge back letter. It is a referred back letter. If the patient is referred by the GP to you, and you are working in a big hospital, you treat the patient and you refer the patient back to GP. So you say refer back letter. So this is the difference between discharge back letter and refer back. Discharge back means patient has come from the same place. Refer back means that patient is referred by the GP and you are referring back to the GP. So that is what is the difference. This is Dr. Bhupesh from Dr. BKM Institutes. Our contact number is 76967 34256. For any queries, feel free to contact us on this number. Thank you.